still remember the cold, dismissive laughter that echoed in my ears when I first told them I wanted to become a game developer. It wasn't just a casual joke. It was an open disdain, a chorus of scoffs that branded my dream as foolish, unworthy, and utterly laughable. My family, traditional and steadfast in their expectations, saw no future in pixels and code. They told me I was wasting my life, that I was an embarrassment, a failure waiting to happen. Every insult, every sneer, every pointed remark drilled into me a single message. I didn't belong. But deep inside, I knew I couldn't ignore that spark. I was burning to create worlds, to tell stories through interactive art, to build something meaningful from nothing but my own vision. So I made the hardest decision of my life. I left home. I left their doubts, their ridicule, their suffocating labels. I poured myself into my craft, working tirelessly, sacrificing everything for that one shot at proving them wrong. Nights blurred into mornings, setbacks piled like mountains, and the world told me I was chasing a childish fantasy. But I clung to that dream like a lifeline. Years passed in relentless pursuit. I faced rejection after rejection, my confidence battered, but never broken. I learned every programming language, every storytelling technique, every nuance of game design. I fought through poverty, loneliness, and moments of despair when I wondered if I was just a fool chasing illusions. But I kept going, driven by a quiet, unyielding belief that if I worked hard enough, if I proved my worth, I could turn their contempt into respect. And I did. Slowly, the world started to notice. My games gained recognition, awards, critical acclaim, a loyal community of players who found meaning in my work. I built a studio, a name for myself, a legacy rooted in perseverance and passion. The success was undeniable. I had become the artist I dreamed of being, the creator I fought so fiercely to become. Yet, a part of me knew that the greatest victory wouldn't be in my trophies or accolades, but in the moment I would finally return home and confront the ghosts of my past. So I did. I returned to that small town, to the house where I'd once been mocked and dismissed. The driveway was just as I remembered, worn, cracked, silent, except now I was different. I had transformed not just my career, but myself. I was no longer the scrawny kid with a wild dream. I was someone who had proven that relentless belief in oneself can withstand even the harshest storms. The moment I stepped inside, my family's faces twisted with a mixture of curiosity, skepticism, and, if I was honest, fear. They hadn't seen me in years, not since I'd left with nothing but my battered laptop and a stubborn hope. They looked at me as if I were a stranger, a ghost of the boy they had once dismissed. Then I showed them. I pulled out my phone and opened the latest game I had developed. An immersive world filled with stories, characters, and lessons about never giving up. I watched their eyes widen, their jaws slacken as I narrated the journey behind each pixel, each line of code. I saw my father's eyes moistening, my mother's hand trembling as she reached out to touch the screen. Silence fell heavy in the room, broken only by the soft hum of my game. And then the truth hit like a thunderclap. My father, who had once called my dreams ridiculous, looked at me with a new respect. No, with a sense of awe. "You did it," he whispered, voice thick with emotion. "You actually did it." In that moment, the weight of years of ridicule, of doubt, dissolved into something else, something more profound. They saw not just the success, but the person I had become through their rejection, their insults, their disbelief. I had taken their scorn and turned it into fuel, into a testament that no one's words can define your destiny unless you let them. As I left that house that evening, I realized something fundamental. The greatest victory isn't the fame or fortune, but the knowledge that I had faced the storm and emerged stronger. I had reclaimed my worth, not by convincing them, but by proving to myself that my dreams were valid. Their judgments no longer held power over me. I had rewritten my story, and that's the lesson I carry forward. Sometimes the world's rejection is the universe's way of redirecting us toward our true path. When others mock or dismiss your dreams, they are merely projecting their own fears onto you. But if you refuse to give up, if you keep pushing forward, despite every failure, despite every impossible, you will find that success isn't just about the destination. It's about becoming the person who refuses to be broken, who transforms pain into purpose. So, to anyone listening who feels mocked or misunderstood, hold on to that dream. Let their doubts be your fuel, because the universe has a way of rewarding those who persist, those who believe in themselves, even when no one else does. And when you finally stand tall, after all the struggles, after all the doubts, when you return to show the world what you've become, know that you've already won. Not just in the eyes of others, but in the quiet, unbreakable conviction that your journey was worth every step. Because in the end, the greatest triumph is not in proving others wrong, but in proving to yourself that you are capable of becoming more than anyone ever believed. And that, my friend, is the most beautiful